Tom Brady is the greatest football player in the 97-year history of the NFL. There's nothing else to debate.
Got that right, Mr. Shannon Sharp. Tom Brady is, in fact, the greatest player in NFL history, having 7 Super Bowl titles, countless of accolades. And I feel like when we all think of Tom Brady, we all think of many various things. There's his 7 rings, his terrible combine, plus his combine picture, Giselle. But I think another very prevalent thing about Brady is his constant fight against adversity. Obviously, he started out being under pressure as a 6th-round pick, but now Brady has basically made himself being the king of the comeback kid. Many times he had been facing so many insurmountable deficits, yet he was able to come through. And today I wanted to look at 6 of his most iconic comebacks throughout his career and how he went from being all-time bad or just plain bad to prevailing and being all-time great, cementing himself as the greatest of all time. This is also purely from a numbers standpoint, just kind of comparing stats before and after the comeback, just a classic before and after scale. Welcome back to No Huddle, and welcome to the art of the Tom Brady comeback. And if you guys enjoyed this, please subscribe and please like to show support, or else your team will trade for Tua Tagovailoa. And if you enjoyed this type of video, check out my other one that I made a couple days ago, in which I talk about other quarterbacks' comebacks throughout recent NFL history. That will be in the link in the description. But now, let's get back to Tom Brady. So I thought we should go back in time, all the way to the very beginning of his career, and that is the year 2002. Tom Brady was the reigning Super Bowl MVP, and the Patriots were looking to become the first repeat champions since the 90s Cowboys. And we take a trip to memory lane, which is Week 10 in Soldier Field, the first of many iconic Brady comebacks. He was going up against a juggernaut Bears defense led by Brian Urlacher, who did get an interception on him, and Jim Miller, of all people, was absolutely owning, I guess, Bill Belichick's defense. It's kind of crazy how bad Bears quarterbacks were before Caleb Williams, Jesus Christ. But either way, like I was saying, the Patriots were having a really hard time moving the ball, and it was 27-6 heading into the third or late in the third quarter. Brady was not having a great sophomore campaign and was definitely not having a great game here. He was pretty accurate, having 15 of 21, but he only had 108 yards and overall did have an interception, a rating of just below 64. But of course, this is a young Tom Brady we're talking about, and even a young Tom Brady at Michigan was dubbed the comeback kid, so it was time to make his name as the comeback kid in the NFL. He started making it work with Kevin Falk, of all people. You know how Brady likes to work with these no-name receivers. And Brady started dicing up the defense. And in the end, he ended up rallying in the fourth quarter, hitting Kevin Falk on a game-winning 20-yard touchdown pass. And the Patriots rattled off 27 points in the final 18 minutes to win 33-30. Brady, after the comeback, wasn't as accurate, but he threw for 220 yards and 3 touchdowns with a rating of just below 110. Again, you look at the accuracy and you think that it's not the greatest, but for 2002 standards, that actually wasn't all that bad. And a young Tom Brady just proved that he would be the baby goat from now on, as this was the first of many of his iconic comebacks. Fast forward 20 years, and we are now in the year of our Lord 2022. This would be Brady's final year of his career, and unfortunately, the 2022 Buccaneers were not a very good team. They were actually kind of a hard watch, and they were having a really tough time of stringing together a very good offense, and they were having a tough time keeping ahead of the very terrible NFC South. Yes, the NFC South sucked even back in 2022. And it set up a game, or basically win or go home game in Week 17 against the Carolina Panthers, led by Panthers Sam Darnold. A Sam Darnold that was still not very good before he got to Seattle. But this was a team that, even with P.J. Walker, was able to absolutely blow them out in Carolina, which means this was no easy test. And the Darnold hammer struck early as they got out to a 14-0 lead. Sam Darnold was cooking them, and the Brady and Mike Evans real offense really wasn't working all that much. And once again, like I said, Sam Darnold was absolutely cooking them, and it was 14-0, and it looked like Brady would be going out ultra sad in his final year. But of course, Brady was going to lock in, and before the 14-0, he only had 109 yards with a rating of just over 94. he was finally going to start get cooking in the second quarter. He dotted up Mike Evans for not one, not two, but 3 straight touchdown passes, despite not having a great connection with him all year. Mike Evans was absolutely torching defenders from the outside. Brady also ran in for a touchdown, and they ended up rallying 30 points, outscoring them 30-10 to win the game and win the division for the second year in a row. Brady, this would end up being basically his final comeback in the NFL, and despite him retiring around 3 weeks later, with his career ending 2 weeks later at the hands of the Dallas Cowboys, he proved that he still had it at the age of 45, going 24-31 for 323 yards, 3 touchdowns with no picks, a rating of just over 142. Just an absolutely insane performance. And you look at some of these other quarterbacks, how they looked at when they were old. Brady doing this at the age of 45. I know it was the Carolina Panthers of all teams who weren't very good, but that's just still an insanely impressive job. So we looked at the beginning and we looked at the end of the Brady comebacks, but I think it's time we look for the heavy hitters, the Wagyu steaks of the comebacks. This next third comeback is the 2017 AFC title game. The Jaguars had made their name dubbing Saxonville, having maybe the best defense in the NFL, destroying a bunch of other teams and quarterbacks, and they got off to a really hot start, having an 11-point lead in the second quarter. Brady in the offense wasn't getting anything going. He was getting sacked left and right. They couldn't convert a third down to save their life. Even their trick plays weren't even working out, with Miles Jack getting a turnover off of them. And overall, in the fourth quarter, the Jags had a 20-10 lead, and it looked like they were going to head to their first ever Super Bowl. And Brady, in terms of outside circumstances and in-game circumstances, he wasn't having a very good game. He was 17-24 for 152 yards, no touchdowns and no picks, a rating of just over 87. Just overall having a very underwhelming performance. And once again, the outside factors were not helping him at all. Take it away, Tony.
Jim, Tom Brady's down 10 at home at Gillette, fourth quarter against the number 1 ranked pass defense in the league, and he just lost his number 1 option, an any man coverage route that they would run. This is as daunting almost as that Super Bowl last year. This is going to be tough.
Tony didn't even mention that Brady also had a couple stitches in his throwing hand from getting a cut earlier in practice that week. Despite that, Brady finally started cooking. He headed up Amendola for back-to-back touchdowns, including a crucial 3rd and 18 conversion. Amendola caught his second touchdown of the game with around 3 minutes to go, and Brady did it once again, down 10 in the fourth, to reach his second straight Super Bowl, his 3rd in 4 years, his 9th in 18 years, and the Patriots clinched the AFC title game. In just the fourth quarter, Brady had a masterclass, 9 of 14 for 138 yards, 2 touchdowns with no picks, a rating of over 136. To do that against that defense with guys like Amendola, he had already lost Gronk. It's just an incredible feat. In terms of all the factors, this might be one of my favorite Brady comebacks, just because literally everything was going against him, with the exception of like home field, and he still was able to get it done. Moving on to the fourth comeback of the fourth comeback of this video, we go back to the year 2013, and we reach to a very pivotal point, a canon event, you would say, of a lot of Tom Brady's career, and that was his rivalry with fellow quarterback Peyton Manning. And we take a trip to week 12 of the 2013 NFL season, in which the Denver Broncos, they sprung out to a 24-0 lead at halftime. No Sean Moreno was absolutely cooking them. Von Miller was absolutely terrorizing Tom Brady, as he usually does. And like I said, 24-0, it seemed insurmountable with that version of the Broncos, with that version of Peyton Manning. Brady was not having a good game whatsoever, only at 62 yards, and overall was very, very ineffective. But still, he was able to rally in the second half. He dotted up Edelman for 2 touchdowns. He also had Gronk for a touchdown. He ended up having 3 in the half, and the Patriots were able to rally back and even take the lead in the fourth quarter before Manning was able to force overtime. But then in overtime, a muff punt, Brady finally got a bit of luck, was able to give the Patriots were able to get the Patriots in field goal range, and Gostkowski was able to walk it off for the Patriots to win 34-31 in one of the better games in the entire Brady and Manning rivalry. And that says a lot, because these guys have had some absolute cinematic masterpieces. After falling down 24-0, Brady went 24-38 for 282 with 3 touchdowns, a rating of just over 112. He snatched Peyton Manning's chain, proved that he was the better quarterback despite Manning winning MVP. And overall, that was maybe the last, maybe before their final game, but at least in the regular season, this was the last of a sensational rivalry between Brady and Peyton Manning. But now we got to move on to the golden stake of these comebacks. Enough with this regular season nonsense. No one cares about the AFC Championship game. That's a bunch of hoopla. Let's move on to Super Bowl 49. This is where you make your name. The Legion of Boom, the best secondary in the NFL, maybe even the best secondary in NFL history. They gave Brady a run for his money in Super Bowl 49. Brady was having a very sloppy performance in around the first 2.5 quarters. The Seahawks jumped out to a 24-14 lead, thanks to Belichick not doing a great job and overall Brady not having a great game. He was very accurate, but only had 193 yards, and he complemented his pair of touchdowns with a pair of interceptions, having a rating of just below 82. But in the fourth quarter, Brady was able to lock in, and he was able to just solve that incredible Legion of Boom defense. He dotted up Amendola for a touchdown early in the fourth quarter, and then he found Edelman for the game-winning touchdown in the fourth quarter. And then, thanks obviously to the Malcolm Butler interception, Brady was able to win and celebrate and clinch his 4th Super Bowl title. Overall, again, Brady... Again, when it comes to the degree of difficulty with the team that he was playing, obviously being the Legion of Boom, this might have been Brady's best comeback. In purely the end of the third and the start of the fourth quarter, he went 14 of 18 for 135 yards with a pair of touchdowns, keeping the ball very clean and a rating of just below 135. That is absolutely sensational. Not to mention, he had a QBR of 97 in just the fourth quarter. It's actually one of the more legendary performances of all time, and to be honest, this might be my favorite Brady comeback because, again, degree of difficulty, I don't think we've ever seen a comeback like this. But I think you guys all know which one it is. The number one comeback, the greatest comeback of Brady's career to many people's eyes, Super Bowl 51, 28-3. We already know the story of this. Brady and the Patriots got out to a 28-3 deficit with Brady not having a great game, throwing a pick six, only having 3 points, was very inaccurate, only had 182 yards with said pick, a rating of just over 62. It looked like they were down and out, but of course, you know why. You know why this is in the video. Brady led a drive late in the third quarter, even running for a first down on a 3rd and 8, and he got James White for a touchdown to cut the lead to 19. Then, thanks to a crucial turnover with Dante Hightower, a very clutch player, by the way, he was able to dot up Amendola for another touchdown, and all of a sudden, it was a 1-score game. After getting the ball back, he hit up Hogan for a huge 3rd down conversion while being under pressure from their own 9. Julian Edelman had one of the greatest catches in NFL history, the most iconic play of that Super Bowl, and of course James White was able to punch it in to tie the game plus the 2-point conversion, and it was all of a sudden 28-28 after being down by 25 in the third quarter. And we were now into overtime, and once the Patriots got the coin toss, I'm sorry Falcons, but it was good night Irene. Brady dotted up Amendola. He was out here throwing dimes to these white men like Amendola and Chris Hogan, getting inside the 2-yard line when, of course, James White received the very iconic toss. He was able to escape defenders and break the plane, and the New England Patriots came from behind 28-3 to win their 5th Super Bowl title, and Tom Brady was able to cement his legacy as being the greatest quarterback and maybe even player in NFL history. From a statistical standpoint, this was a very, very good game from Brady. 26 of 33 for 284, 2 touchdowns, a very clean game, a rating of over 122. He was just sensational, insanely accurate. But I feel like it goes just beyond the numbers. It's beyond the stats as to why this game is so special. One, it was 28-3. I don't think people realize a 25-point deficit in the Super Bowl is just crazy. No one is ever going to come back from that again. Brady was already dealing with a bunch of scandals. He was on his revenge tour from that hoax that we called Deflategate. He was getting sacked left and right. He was sacked 5 times in the Super Bowl, facing constant pressure. Yet despite that, even with throwing a pick six, mind you, he was able to pick himself back up and rally back and able to come back and just prove once and for all why he is the greatest of all time. And that, my friends, is the art of the Tom Brady comeback. Once again, if you guys enjoyed this, please subscribe and like to show any support. It's all very appreciated. If you guys enjoyed this type of video, watch my other videos where I talk about other quarterbacks. Once again, the link will be in the description. And I will see you all in the next one.